Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're tackling a massive milestone for any language learner, unlocking spontaneous English fluency. We're going to map out exactly how to move away from that stiff, academic textbook English and bridge the gap to natural, effortless conversation. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through this, so let's just dive right in.
So, have you ever found yourself in the middle of a conversation, just kind of internally screaming, "Why do I sound so robotic in English?" Look, I want to validate that feeling right out of the gate, because it is an incredibly common frustration. You might have great vocabulary, but the second you're put on the spot, boom, your brain hits this internal buffering wheel. You start translating from your native language in your head, and suddenly this harsh internal judge takes over. It completely overloads your cognitive bandwidth, desperately searching for perfect grammar, and the result? A robotic delivery that totally kills the human connection.
Here is how we're going to fix it today. First, we'll look at the robotic English trap. Second, the music of English. Third, think fast with the prep method. And finally, building spontaneous fluency.
Okay, Section 1, the robotic English trap. The traditional textbook approach treats English like it's syllable-timed and highly formal. It forces you into this evaluative mindset where you're constantly prejudging every single word just to avoid mistakes. And honestly, that creates massive cognitive overload. But the natural approach, that is how native speakers actually communicate. It's stress-timed, it's register-appropriate, and above all, it's connection-focused. See, it really isn't about grammatical perfection, it's about establishing rhythm and maintaining a real human flow.
Moving right along to Section 2, the music of English. Sell, car, gone, France. Now this sounds like an old-school telegram, right? But your brain instantly understands the meaning. Somebody wants you to sell their car because they've gone to France. This happens because English is what we call a stress-timed language. The content words, the ones carrying the actual meaning, get the strong beats. Meanwhile, structure words like because or to just kind of shrink away into a tiny sound, the schwa. Trying to pronounce every single syllable with equal weight, it ironically makes you way harder to understand. To really demonstrate how powerful this rhythm is, let's consider this incredibly simple 7-word sentence from pronunciation expert Rachel Smith. I didn't say he stole the money. It seems totally basic, but it actually holds some absolute linguistic genius. Get this, by simply shifting the stress to different words, you completely change the hidden meaning of the sentence without altering a single grammar rule. No way, right? Let's try it. If I say, I didn't say he stole the money, well, that implies someone else said it. I didn't say he stole the money. Maybe I just hinted at it, right? I didn't say he stole the money. Maybe he just borrowed it. And I didn't say he stole the money. That suggests he took something else entirely, like, I don't know, jewelry. Mastering this rhythm unlocks incredible, instant nuance. Now for Section 3, think fast, the prep method. When you're hit with an unexpected question, rely on the prep method. It's a lifesaver. P is for point. State your main headline right away. R is for reason. Give a logical justification for it. E is for example. Drop in a concrete story or a data point. And finally, P brings it right back to the point, reinforcing your takeaway to give the answer closure. This mental scaffolding completely prevents that dreaded mid-sentence rambling. Let's look at how the prep framework functions under pressure in a real-world professional scenario. Just imagine your boss asks for your opinion on a project launch completely out of nowhere. Instead of freezing up, you just use prep. Point: I recommend we delay the launch by 2 weeks. Reason: user testing revealed significant usability issues. Example: a similar launch last year resulted in a 40% spike in support tickets. Point: a short delay ensures a smooth user experience. Bam! You've just delivered a concise, persuasive, and highly professional answer in about 15 seconds, all by just following the map.
All right, bringing us to Section 4, building spontaneous fluency.
First off, you've got to match the register of the room. How do you do is textbook perfect, sure, but unless you're literally wearing a top hat, it sounds incredibly stiff. What's up is the natural reality. To be spontaneous, you have to let go of the textbook. And here is a huge relief. Using filler words like or well, or reductions like gonna, those are not mistakes. I repeat, not mistakes. They're actually necessary cognitive buffers. They act as speed markers and a stress-timed language and buy your brain some crucial processing time. The absolutely crucial takeaway here is the 50-50 rule. You literally cannot achieve spontaneous fluency through passive listening alone. If you spend an hour listening to conversations or audio, you must spend an equal amount of time, a full 50%, on productive output. And by that, I mean actually speaking. You have to engineer your own immersion.
So you might be wondering, how do you practice output if you're sitting all by yourself? Well, let's rapidly fire through some actionable cognitive drills to help establish those direct neural pathways and shut down that internal translation habit for good. First up, labeling and scanning. Just spend 60 seconds looking around the room and naming every single object you see in English. Second, the narrator technique. Narrate your daily actions out loud to yourself like, I am opening the fridge. It sounds silly, but it builds the connection between thought and expression without any pressure. And third, monolingual dictionary immersion. Just use an English-to-English dictionary. This makes sure you learn new concepts completely within the English semantic frame, bypassing your native language altogether.
Which leaves us with this final, thought-provoking question for you to consider today. Will you keep striving for impossible textbook perfection, or are you ready to embrace the rhythm of real connection? It is time to silence that internal judge, trust your frameworks, and let your English become a natural extension of your voice. Get out there and start speaking. Thanks so much for tuning into this explainer, and keep practicing.